Howl for Carl Solomon. I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, starving hysterical naked, dragging themselves through the Negro streets at dawn looking for an angry fix. Angel-headed hipsters, burning for the ancient heavenly connection to the starry dynamo in the machinery of night, who poverty and tatters and hollow-eyed and high sat up smoking in the supernatural darkness of cold water flats floating across the tops of cities contemplating jazz, who bared their brains to heaven under the L and saw Mohammedan angels staggering on tenement roofs illuminated, who passed through universities with radiant, cool eyes, hallucinating Arkansas and Blake-like tragedy among the scholars of war, who were expelled from the academies for crazy and publishing obscene odes on the windows of the skull. That's it.
Found in unshaven rooms in underwear, burning their money in wastebaskets and listening to the tear through the wall, who gut busted in their pubic beards, returning through Laredo in a belt of marijuana for New York, who ate fire in paint hotels or drank turpentine in Paris alley. Death or purgatoried their torsos night after night, with dreams, with drugs, with waking nightmares, alcohol and cock and endless balls. Incomparable blind streets of shuddering cloud and lightning in the mind leaping towards poles of Canada and Patterson, illuminating all the motionless world, the time between peyote solidities of halls, backyard, green tree, cemetery, dawns, wine, drunkenness over the rooftop, storefront burrows of tea-hide, joyride, neon, blinking streetlight, sun and moon and tree and vibrations in the soaring winter dusks of Brooklyn, ashcan rantings and kind king light of mind who chained themselves to subways for the endless ride from Battery to Holy Bronx on Byzantine into the noise of wheels, and children wrought them down, shuddering, mouth racked and battered bleak, a brain all drained of brilliance in the drear of zoo.
Who sang all night in submarine light? Those Bigfords floated out and sat through the stale beer afternoon in desolate fugazis, listening to the crack of doom on the hydrogen gigahertz. Who talked continuously 70 hours from park to pad to bar to Bellevue to museum to the Brooklyn Bridge. A lost battalion of platonic conversationalists jumping down the stoops of fire escapes, off window sills, off Empire State, out of the moon. Yakety-yakketing, screaming, vomiting, whispering facts and memories and anecdotes and eyeball kicks and shocks of hospitals and jails and wars. Whole intellects disgorged in total recall for 7 days and nights with brilliant eyes, meet for the synagogue, cast on the pavement. Who vanished into nowhere, Zen, New Jersey, leaving a trail of ambiguous picture postcards of Atlantic City Hall. Suffering eastern sweats and Tangerian bone grindings and migraines of China, under junk withdrawal in Newark's bleak furnished room. Who wandered around and around at midnight in the rail yard, wondering where to go and went, and leaving no broken hearts.
Who lit cigarettes in boxcars, rocketing through snow toward lonesome farms and grandfather night? Who studied Plotinus, posed St. John of the Cross, telepathy, and Bob Kebab because of the cosmos, and inexclusively vibrated at their feet in Kansas? Who loaned it through the streets in Idaho, seeking visionary Indian angels, who were visionary Indian angels? Who thought they were only mad when Baltimore gleamed in supernatural ecstasy? Who gleamed in limousines with Shanaman of Oklahoma on the impulse of winter midnight streetlight, small town rain? Who lounged hungry and lonesome through Houston, seeking jazz or sex or soup, and followed the brilliant Spaniard to converse about America and eternity, a hopeless task, and so took ship to Africa?
Hey!
who disappeared into the volcanoes of Mexico, leaving behind nothing but the shadow of dungarees and the lava of ash and poetry scattered in fire in the place of Chicago, who reappeared on the West Coast investigating the FBI in beards and shorts with big pacifist eyes, sexy in their dark skin, passing out incomprehensible leaflets.
Who burned cigarette holes in their arms protesting the narcotic tobacco haze of capitalism? Who distributed super communist pamphlets in Union Square, weeping and undressing while the sirens of Los Angeles wailed them down, and wailed down Wall, and the Staten Island ferry also wailed. Who broke down crying while gymnasiums naked and trembling before machinery of other skeletons. Who bit detectives on the neck and shrieked with delight in police cars for committing no crime but their own wild-looking and intoxication. Who howled on their knees in the subway and were dragged off the roof, waving genitals and manuscripts. Who let themselves be fucked in the ass by saintly motorcyclists who screamed with joy. Who blew and were blown by those human seraphim. The sailors, caressed of Atlantic and Caribbean love. Who bawled in the morning and the evenings in rose gardens in the grass of public parks and cemeteries, scattering their semen freely to whomever who may.
Kept endlessly trying to giggle, but wound up with a sob behind a partition in a Turkish bath with a blonde and naked angel. Came to pierce them with a sword. Who loves their lost boys to the three old shrews, to fate, the one-eyed shrew of the heterosexual collar, the one-eyed shrew that winks out of the moon, the one-eyed shrew with nothing to sit on her ass, that snips her intellectual golden threads of the craftsman's love. Who copulates the static and satiates a bottle of beer, a sweetheart, a package of cigarettes, a candle that fell off the bed, and continued along the floor and down the hall and ended fainting on the wall with a vision of ultimate cunt and cum, eluding the last jism of consciousness, who sweetened the snatches of a million girls, trembling in the sunset, and were red-eyed in the morning, prepared to sweep the snatch of the sunrise flashing buttocks under bars and naked in the lake, who went out whoring to Colorado in myriad stolen night cars, North Carolina, secret hero of these poems, Coxman, Adonis of Denver, joy to the memory of innumerable ladies of girls, in empty lots and diner backyards, movie houses, rickety roads, and mountaintops and caves, or with gaunt waitresses and familiar roadside lonely petticoats, uplifting and especially secret gas stations, solicities and Johns and hometown alleys too, who faded out in bad, sordid movies, were shifted and dreamed, woke on a sudden Manhattan, and picked themselves up out of basement hung over with heartless decay and horrors of Third Avenue iron dreams and stumbled of unemployment offices.
Who walked all night with their shoes full of blood on the snowbank docks, waiting for a door in the East River to open to a room full of steamboat and opium? Who created great suicidal dramas on the apartment cliff banks of the Hudson under a wartime blue floodlight of the moon, and their heads shall be crowned with laurel and oblivion? Who ate the lamb, stew, of imagination, or digested the crab at the muddy bottom of the river's Bowery? Who wept at the romance of the streets with their pushcarts full of onions and bad music? But who sat in the boxes, breathing in the darkness under the bridge, and rose up to build harpsichords in their lofts?
6th floor of Harlem, crowned with flame under the tubercular sky, surrounded by orange crates of theology. Who scribbled all night long, rocking and rolling over lofty incantations in which the yellow morning were stanzas of gibberish. Who cooked rotten animals, lung, heart, feet, tail, borscht, and tortillas, dreaming of the pure vegetable kingdom. Who plunged themselves under meat trucks looking for an egg. Who threw their watches off the roof to cast their ballot for eternity outside of time, and alarm clocks fell on their heads every day for the next decade. Who cut their wrists 3 times successively unsuccessfully gave up and were forced to open antique stores where they thought they were growing old and cried, who were burned alive in their innocent flannel suits on Madison Avenue, amidst blast of laden verse and tanked up clatter of the iron regiments of fashion, the nitroglycerin shrieks of the fairies of advertising, and the mustard gas of sinister intelligent editors, or were run down by the drunken taxi cabs of absolute reality.
Who jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge. This actually happened. And walked away unknown, forgotten into the ghostly gaze of Chinatown's soup alleyways, fire trucks, not even one free beer. Who sang out their windows in despair, fell out of the subway window, jumped in the filthy, passaic leap on Negroes, cried all over the street, danced on broken wine glasses, barefoot smashed phonograph records of nostalgic European 1930s German jazz, finished the whiskey and threw up groaning in bloody toilet, moans in their ears, and the blast of colossal steam whistles, who barreled down the highways of the past, journeying to each other's hot rod Golgotha, jail, solitude, watch, or Birmingham jazz incarnation, who drove the cross country 72 hours to find out if I had a vision, or you had a vision, or he had a vision, to find out eternity, who journeyed to Denver, who died in Denver, who came back to Denver, and waited in vain, who watched over Denver, brooded alone in Denver, and finally went away to find out the time, and now Denver is lonesome for her heroes.
Who fell on their knees in hopeless cathedrals, praying for each other's salvation, light and rest, until the soul illuminated its hair for a second? Who crashed through their minds in jail, waiting for impossible criminals with golden heads and the charm of reality in their hearts to sing sweet blues to Alcatraz? Who retired to Mexico to cultivate a habit? Our Rocky Mountain to tender Buddha, our Tangiers to Boys, our Southern Pacific to the Black Locomotive, our Harvard to Narcissus, to Woodlawn to the Daisy Chain, our grave. Who demanded sanity trails, accusing the radio of hypnotism, and were left with their insanity in their hands in a hung jury? Who threw potato salad at CCNY lectures on Dadaism and subsequently presented themselves on the granite steps of the madhouse with shaven heads and harlequin speech of suicide, demanding instantaneous lobotomy, and who were given instead the concrete void of insulin, metrazole, electricity, hydrotherapy, psychotherapy, occupational therapy, ping pong and amnesia. Hue and humorless protest overturned only one symbolic ping pong table, resting briefly in catatonia.
Except for a wig of blood, and tears and fingers to the visible madman doom of the wards of the mad towns of the east, Pilgrim States, Rocklands, and Greystone's voted halls, bickering with echoes of the soul, rocking and rolling in the midnight solitude bench, Dulham realms of love. Dream of life, a nightmare, bodies turned to stone as heavy as the moon, with mother finally, and the last fantastic book flung out of the tenement window, and the last door closed at 4 a.m., and the last telephone slammed at the wall in reply, and the last furnished room emptied down to the last piece of mental furniture, a yellow paper rose twisted on a wire hanger in the closet, and even that imaginary nothing but a hopeful little bit of hallucination. Ah, Carl, while you are not safe, I am not safe, and now you're really in the total animal soup of time, and who therefore ran through the icy streets obsessed with a sudden flash of alchemy of the use and the ellipse, the catalog, the meter, and the vibrating plane.
Who dreamt and made incarnate gaps in time and space, through images juxtaposed and tracked the arcane of the South between two visual images and joined the element of words that set the noun and dash of consciousness together, jumping with sensation of pater omnipotens aeterna deus, to recreate the syntax and measure of poor human prose, and stand before you speechless and intelligent and shaking with shame, rejected, yet confessing out the soul to conform to the rhythm of thought in his naked and endless head. The madman bum and angel beat in time, unknown, yet putting down here what might be left to say in time come after death, and rose reincarnate in the ghostly clothes of jazz and the gold-horn shadow of the band, and blew the suffering of America's naked mind for love into an Eli Eli Lama Lama Sabachthani saxophone cry that shivered the cities down to the last radio, with the absolute heart of the poem of life, butchered out of their own bodies, good to eat 1,000 years.
What sphinx of cement and aluminum bashed open their skulls and ate up their brains and imagination? Melange, solitude, filth, ugliness, ash cans and unattainable dollars, children screaming under the stairways, boys sobbing in armies, old men weeping in the parks. Melange, Melange, nightmare of Melange. Melange the loveless, mental Melange.
Should we tell this pronounced Moloch?
Moloch, the incomprehensible prison. Moloch, the crossbones soulless jailhouse and congress of sorrows. Moloch, whose buildings are judgment. Moloch, the vast stone of war. Moloch, the stunned governments. Moloch, whose mind is pure machinery. Moloch, whose blood is running money. Moloch, whose fingers are 10 armies. Moloch, whose breast is a cannibal dynamo. Moloch, whose ear is a smoking tomb. Moloch, whose eyes are 1,000 blind windows. Moloch, whose skyscrapers stand in the long streets like endless Jehovah's. Moloch, whose factories dream and croak in the fog. Moloch, whose smokestacks and antenna cones.
Moloch, whose love is endless, oil and stone. Moloch, whose soul is electricity and banks. Moloch, whose poverty is the specter of genius. Moloch, whose fate is a cloud of sexless hydrogen. Moloch, whose name is the mind. Moloch, in whom I sit lonely. Moloch, in whom I dream angels. Crazy in Moloch. Cocksucker in Moloch. Black love and manless in Moloch.
Where's the music?
Moloch, who entered my soul early. Moloch, in whom my unconsciousness found a body. Moloch, who frightened me out of my natural ecstasy. Moloch, whom I'm abandoned. Wake up in Moloch, light streaming out of the sky. Moloch, Moloch, robot apartments, invisible suburbs, skeleton treasuries, blind capitals, demonic industries, spectral nations, invisible mad houses, granite cocks, monstrous bombs. They broke their backs lifting Moloch to heaven. Pavements, trees, radios, tons. Lifting the city to heaven, which exists and is everywhere about us. Visions, omens, hallucinations, miracles, ecstasies, gone down the American river. Dreams, adorations, illuminations, religions, the whole boatload of sensitive bullshit. Breakthroughs over the river, flips and crucifixions, gone down the flood. Highs, epiphanies, despairs, 10 years animal screams and suicides. Minds, new loves, mad generation, down on the roads of time. Real holy laughter in the river. They saw it all, the wild eyes, the holy yells. They bade farewell. They jumped off the roof, solitude, waving, carrying flowers down to the river, into the street.
Oh, Solomon, I'm with you in Rockland, where you're madder than I am. I'm with you in Rockland, where you must feel very strange. I'm with you in Rockland, where you imitate the shade of my mother. I'm with you in Rockland, where you've murdered your 12 secretaries. I'm with you in Rockland, where you laugh at this invisible humor. I'm with you in Rockland, where we are great writers on the same dreadful typewriter. I'm with you in Rockland, where your condition has become serious and is reported on the radio. I'm with you in Rockland, where the faculties of the school no longer admit the worms of the census. I'm with you in Rockland, where you drink the tea at the breasts of the spinsters of Utica. I'm with you in Rockland, where you pun on the bodies of your nurses, the harpies of the Bronx.
I'm with you in Rockland. Where's Rockland?
I don't know.
Alright. Where you scream in the straitjacket that you're losing the game of actual ping pong of the abyss. That's weird. I'm with you in Rockland. Where you bang the catatonic piano. The soul is innocent and immortal. It should never die. Ungodly in an unarmed madhouse. I'm with you, Rockland. Will the filthy moor shocks will never return in your soul to its body again from its pilgrimage to the cross of the void. I'm with you, Rockland. Where you accuse your doctors of insanity and plot the Hebrew socialist. That's racist. Revolution against the fascist national Golgotha? That's a sheet demon.
I don't.
It is. The Golgotha is a
You
sheet
know more
demon.
than I do.
I'm with you, Rockland. You will split the heavens of Long Island in the resurrection of your living human Jesus from the superhuman tomb. I'm with you, Rockland, where there are 25,000 mad comrades all together singing in the final stanzas of the irrational.
I'm with you in Rockland, where we hug and kiss the United States under our bed sheets, the United States that coughs all night and won't let us sleep. I'm with you in Rockland, where we wake up electrified out of the coma by our own soul's airplanes roaring over the roof. They've come to drop angelic bombs. The hospital illuminates itself. Imaginary walls collapse. Oh, skinny legions, run outside. Oh, starry-spangled shock of mercy, the eternal war is here. Oh, victory, forget your underwear, we're free. I'm with you in Rockland. In my dreams you walk, dripping from a sea journey on the highway across America, and tears to the door of my cottage in the western night. San Francisco, 1955 to 56. There are stanzas, right? Holy, 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 holy. Right? Hey, 15. The world is holy, the soul is holy, the skin is holy, the nose is holy, the tongue and cock and hand and asshole holy. Everything is holy, everybody's holy, everywhere is holy. Every day is an eternity, every man's an angel. The bums is holy as the seraphim. The madman is holy as you, my soul, are holy. The typewriter is holy, the poem is holy, the voice is holy, the hearers are holy, the ecstasy is holy. Holy Peter, holy Alan, holy Solomon, holy Lucian, holy Kerouac, holy Hunky, holy Burroughs, holy Cassidy, holy the unknown buggered and suffering beggars, holy the hideous human angels, holy my mother in the insane asylum, holy the cocks of the grandfathers of Kansas, holy the groaning saxophones, holy the bop apocalypse, holy the jazz bands, marijuana, hipsters, peace and junk and drums, holy the solitude of skyscrapers and pavements, holy the cafeterias filled with the millions, holy the mysterious rivers of tears under the streets, holy the lone juggernauts, holy the vast lamb of the middle class, holy the crazy shepherds of rebellion who digs Los Angeles is Los Angeles, holy New York, holy San Francisco, holy Peoria and Seattle, holy Paris, holy Tangiers, holy Moscow, holy Istanbul, holy time and eternity, holy eternity and time, holy the clocks in space, holy the fourth dimension, holy the fifth international, holy the angel and Moloch, holy the sea, holy the desert, holy the railroad, holy the locomotive, holy the visions, holy the hallucinations, holy the miracle, holy the eyeball, holy the abyss, Holy forgiveness, mercy, charity, faith, holy hours, bodies, suffering, magnanimity. Holy, the supernatural, extra brilliant, intelligent kindness of the soul.